So, how are you guys doing? Looks like you've had some conversation. What issues, if any, have evolved for each of you?
Shoot, I wanted to hear the rest of that story.
Oh, all right, go ahead and finish your story.
And how that applied to anger.
Well, my mom was born like literally about a month after World War II ended in Vienna, Austria, which was like devastated by bombs. And actually, an Allied bomb was responsible for the death of like my great-grandfather, which is also really weird to think that like it's the country that I now live in and most associate myself with was like responsible for the death of an innocent citizen. But I mean, it's like that's I don't even know how to think about that.
Right, because it's really not weird in your experience, except for the Twin Towers, and to know that we can be part of violence and terrorism and so forth. But literally, our countries were at war and under siege.
My mom, I don't know, they're just like, I also know that, I also know that like my grandfather actually just turned 95 last Monday. And my Oma, my grandmother, just passed away last summer. But they, my understanding is that my grandfather actually at one time was with other women, and my grandmother, so this might be second chakra, but it's also, I think, root chakra. Like, my grandparents stayed together until their 90s.
Mm-hmm.
But from the time that my grandmother was in her 30s, like, they had no physical contact. And I think that's actually in some ways, I mean, yes, it's sexual, and so it could be second chakra, but it's root chakra. It's like they just didn't, so it was like when I was in their presence, they didn't really like each other, but yet they did. It was this really weird, I never really felt, I felt really comfortable with my grandmother, really enjoyed her company. I learned so much from her. She had amazing stories. And
what did this have though with the root for you?
There's like no safety and no communication between my grandparents, which then went down to my parents' relationship.
Right.
Which is what
this
I grew up with.
becomes ancestral. This
Totally.
becomes generational.
Yeah, I mean, so like my parents didn't really communicate. And I remember I was telling Hannah that that I came home one day. We're in 6th grade, and I was like, Mom, you hurt my feelings. And my mom was like, what is that even?
What?
What is that, like, what does that mean? And then I think she thought about it and later told me, like, years later, was like, that was the most hurtful thing you ever said to me when you were a child.
Yes, but there you go.
She didn't know she had no idea, like, what I was talking about.
Yeah. Yep. And so that made you feel how in terms of the root chakra? If you are expressing your soul, your feelings,
like, I'm not heard, I'm not understood, like, from my mom, I mean, my dad totally heard me, so thankfully, but my mom just, like, did not get me.
There was no foundation.
There's no foundation for my mom. Plus, I was, I was diagnosed with a dislocated hip at 3 months, and so I was in a cast from, like, 6 months to, like, 16 months. So I didn't have...
Okay, dislocated hip, hello. So you didn't have
totally.
what?
I didn't have a foundation. I had nothing to stand on.
Right.
I was not supported.
There you go. There you go.
You know, my mom, I don't know, actually.
Well, and how do you think that issue from childhood bled over into your being as a child, adult?
Standing up for myself, having faith in my own foundation and my own strength, my own belief in myself. Touch, even. I mean, like, I'm sure my mom picked me up, but there wasn't skin-to-skin contact for that period of time because I was in this, like, thing.
Yeah, yep.
So definitely, like,
all of those
deep nurturing.
Yeah, security, love, support. Yes, all of those things. Oh, great example.
Oh my God.
See, you don't realize until you start digging